welcome back. Today I wanted to do a first impressions video. Well, I guess it's not really a first impressions video, it's more of an early on in the process of using it review, if that makes sense. Using the Urban Decay Backtalk palette. This is both an eye and cheek palette, so we are going to use all of the products from in there today. I also used the Urban Decay Vice lipstick in Backtalk, which they sent with the collection, as well as the Hi-Fi gloss in the color Backtalk to kind of keep it monotone, but also because this is one of the glosses that I did the swatch video for the other day, so I wanted to do a little bit more of an in-depth review for you guys and let you know how they wear, what I think of them, etc, etc. So if you are interested to see a little bit more about those glosses that we did all 20 of those swatches for the other day, if you haven't seen that, I'll link to it down below as well. And after all the products are applied to the face, I am going to film a couple of little vlog style check-ins and show you guys the way they wear over time so you can get like a really good picture of how they perform and whether they are something that you want. Before we get started playing with this palette, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up because that really helps me out and I would super duper appreciate it. And also, if you are new here and you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe down below because I would love to have you stick around and hang out and talk about makeup. It would literally make my entire day. We've got a lot of new products to try, so I'm gonna zipple, take a suckle of my zipple, and we're gonna start with the eye portion of this palette. Got a little bit too much dry shampoo in my hair and I think it's giving me like a little bit of like an accidental granny chic vibe, but we're just gonna live with that because it's been a long day already. I'm already dropping shit. Also, my eyes look super droopy because I have a little bit of black makeup left underneath them from the last look I did. So, yeah, we're not off to a great start, but we're gonna look better by the time this is finished, okay? That is a certainty. So the first new product that I am going to be playing with today is the Urban Decay Backtalk palette. I've been using this palette on and off all week, so I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what I think of it, so I'll be able to share that with you guys. That's kind of the way I've been trying to approach things, unless it's like a hot new item and you guys are like, "Gah, show it to us." Like in those cases, I will do something that's like first impression, but if I have a few days where I can use it before I film, I feel like that's the smarter way to do it because I can give you guys more information on the quality of the product that way. So in case you have not seen what this palette looks like, there is one side of the palette. Oh my god. There we go. In case you have not seen the inside of this palette, it is half eye palette and half cheek palette. And in the center, we have a little removable mirror which sticks in by a magnet in between the two of them. It's a pretty neat little setup. I like the way that they have made it very compact with the packaging. If I was going to travel with this, which for some reason is just something I always take into account when I am like judging a palette, this would be super convenient to travel with because it has blush, highlighter, and an entire eye palette all in one, and it doesn't take up much more room than an eye palette. So that is delightful. As you can see, it is a neutral palette, obviously, and it's in these sort of blushy mauve rose tones. Very pretty, very like, gives me kind of bridal vibes. My one gripe with the color selection in this palette is that there isn't a shade, like a matte shade, that I find dark enough to like really make them look like deep and delicious. But other than that, the colors are lovely. I'm just gonna clip my hair back and we'll get started on these eyeballs. I'm gonna dip into the color Backtalk, the namesake of the palette, first. This is on a Sigma E40 blending brush, and I'm just gonna put that through my crease as a light transition shade. This is a really pretty rosy shade. I actually find it more flattering than I expected to find it on my eyes. Sometimes these type of like mauve-y shades look a little bit like bruises on me. Just something about my undertone, I don't know, it just usually doesn't agree with it, but for some reason, this works. I think it's enough pink and like less purple that it's not an issue. That's what it is. That's gotta be it. Next, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this mid-tone brown shade. It's called WTF on a MAC 268S brush. This is my favorite little angle, well actually big, it's a big angle brush for smoking out a wing. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm gonna start kind of smoking out a wing. And I'm going to soften up the edges of that with my MAC 224S brush. This is just a clean blending brush. Next, I'm going to dip my brush into the color Shade, and I'm going to do that on a Real Technique shading brush that's a little bit damp. Personally, I find that the shimmers, especially in this palette, do perform better on a damp brush. You guys know how I feel about that though. Pretty much every shimmer always performs better on a damp brush. And I'm just kind of filling in the outer half of the lid with that and then blending it into the little wing shape that we already made. All right, next I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the color Curve and I'm gonna do the same thing with the same brush that I just cleaned off. I'm gonna dampen it again and I'm gonna put that color on the inner portion. For the lower lash line, I feel like this look is screaming for a little bit of depth. So I'm going to go through the lower lash line and the waterline with black. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Perversion, classic black. And I'm just gonna run that through the whole entirety of the waterlines. I'm currently like really stabbing myself in the eye with this because I can't find my pencil sharpener, and I also can't find my Anastasia black liner that doesn't need a pencil sharpener. So we stab ourselves in the eyes for the cause. That's what we do around here. Dedication. Now I'm gonna go in with WTF again, this time on a pencil brush. This is stained super duper pink. So if you don't have one that's stained super duper pink, don't worry, it'll still work. I'm gonna sweep that underneath the lower lash line, blending it in to that black. And then connecting it with the top portion. Everything together. How the fuck did I get eyeliner up there? What is happening today? God, I suck. Who even follows me? I'm a mess. All right, I think I got most of that off. What the fuck though? All right, I feel like this look is like, it's like a soft, pretty look, but I'm also bored as fuck with it. So I'm going to add a couple of the Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitters. Since we're using mostly Urban Decay on these eyes today, I figured might as well continue that theme. These are the colors Catcall and Grind. As you can see, they're both kind of pinkish, so it'll keep it like that monotone type of a thing. But hopefully, I don't know, jazz this look up a little bit. I'm just gonna layer them over each other, see what happens. I'm just gonna go pop on some lashes and mascara, and then we will move on to doing some cheek leaks. Cheekies. All right, now that those lashes are on, let's do some cheeky cheeks. Now, I am going to spray my face with some Fix Plus before we do this because I've been using the highlight on and off this week, and the highlight in here is very subtle. So I'm thinking that maybe if I spray my face with Fix Plus before I apply it, we might get a little more oomph out of it. There are two highlight shades in here. One is called Low Key and the other one is called Party Foul. Party Foul is the one I've been using because Low Key is a little bit too dark for me. But Party Foul is, it's a little on the subtle side for my taste. So maybe with a little bit of dampness from the Fix Plus, that'll kind of juice it up a little bit, I'm hoping. Let's see. That's a little bit better. Oh wow, yeah, that is definitely much better. I'm definitely happier with that than I was when I wore it the other times this week. So if you do pick this palette up, definitely recommend spraying your face with some setting spray before you apply the highlight. There are also two blush shades in here. One is called Double Take and the other one's called Cheap Shot. I'm going to use Double Take because that is the more rosy tone of the two. Cheap Shot is a really pretty shade. I'll do a little finger swatch for you if you want so you can see. It's like a mauvey, purpley toned shade with a little bit of shimmer in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade, but it doesn't really work on my personal skin tone. If you are on the fair side like me, it kind of winds up looking a little bit like a bruise, but Double Take is a gorgeous color. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a darker version of one of my favorite blushes, which is the Exposed blush from Tarte, which I haven't been using lately. I don't know why. I haven't picked that one up in a while, but it is one of my all-time favorites. I'm just picking up a little bit of Double Take on a BH number 2 brush. It's just a really pretty rose shade. All right, for the lips today, I'm gonna keep within the theme of this palette because Urban Decay sent along with the Backtalk palette, the Backtalk lipstick, and in that collection of the Urban Decay new hi-fi lip glosses, there's also a Backtalk shade in that. So I'm gonna layer those for the lip today, keep it all monotone. You're gonna see the swatch video that I did the other day. I'll put a little card at the top of the screen here for you if you wanna jump over and watch that real quick. I have been wearing them for a few days now, and I have a few thoughts. They are stunningly beautiful on the lips. They're one of the only glosses that I feel like I can overdraw my lips with them a little bit. And even though they're sheer, it makes my lips look like full and plump and not just like messy and fucked up. They smell fantastic and they're very, very comfortable on the lips. I don't find them particularly long wearing though. I really am always very skeptical when a company says that a gloss is long wearing anyway, because how? Another thing I noticed that wasn't perfect about them was I did get a little bit of like white buildup in here yesterday when I wore one of those shades, but I'm not gonna blame that on the gloss yet because my lips were a little bit dry and gross yesterday, so it might have just been me. It might not have been the gloss. It might have been I was just shedding like a snake, you know? It's really hard to make that call just yet. I find them very comfortable to just throw on to look really, really nice very quickly. I just wouldn't expect them to like weather the storm of like a whole night out or something without applying them. Like, don't get delusional about it. You need to bring it with you. All right, first I'm going to apply the Vice lipstick in Backtalk. Okay, so now that the look is done, this is not the most exciting look in the world, and I kind of knew it wasn't going to be because we were using all neutrals today, and it's so not my usual MO on this channel, just like completely neutral looks top to bottom. Just so hard for me to keep it this plain. As far as the way that the eyeshadow palette performs, the shadows are very pigmented and very blendable. I would say that there's pretty high quality. These shimmers are not as vibrant as I like my shimmer shades to be in general, but they are opaque. They are clearly meant to not be super blinding and metallic. They're more of like a satiny finish. This is obviously meant for a very subtle look. So that's what you like in your makeup and you're looking for something with a little bit more of a mauve tone, like colorway for your collection. I think this is a really nice palette. Does it knock my socks off? No, not especially, but I do like it. I will get use out of it. It's not a bad palette. It's just not super exciting for me. I do wish that there were a couple of darker matte tones within the palette too, just because I personally, because of the way that my eyelids are shaped, I always find that I need to create like false depth in my looks. And without darker mattes in the palette, it's very difficult to do that for me. So I do wish that there was like maybe a dark brown that was a matte or something like that. That would have been fantastic. I absolutely love the fact that they kept it so small, but also were able to get so many products in the one palette. And I also love that the mirror is removable. That is so fantastic. If you like mauve tones and you travel a lot, this is gonna be your shit. The highlight was a little bit lackluster for me. It does apply much better after spraying Fix Plus, so you have a little bit of dampness on your face and it picks up a little bit more pigmentation. If you like subtle highlights, you're gonna like this a lot because it is very subtle. It's definitely very subtle. It's not a bad highlighter. It's not chalky, or it doesn't sit bad on the skin or anything like that. It's just much more subtle than I usually go for. And I'm not even like a super like blinds me with your highlight person like some people are. I do like a nice bright wet looking highlight, but I like subtle ones too. This one was a little subtle even for me. The blushes have the exact right amount of pigmentation for a blush, in my opinion. I do not like an overpigmented blush. That is a one-way ticket to Clown Town, in my opinion. So I like the pigmentation. It's just enough without being too much. It is very blendable, very wearable. I'm not sure about the darker, more purple shade because it does not work on my skin tone, but if you have a deeper skin tone than me, it might be absolutely stunning on you. So I think what I'm going to do, because I have so many products from the same collection on my face right now, is I'm gonna film a couple of check-ins, like vlog style, outside of the studio lighting, show you guys what this looks like in a couple of hours and see how that goes. So you can judge for yourself how they wear. I can't really speak on that yet because I didn't really pay attention to it this week as I was wearing these products around. So we're gonna do a couple of check-ins so you can see, does the highlight fade? Does the eyeshadow fall off? Fall off? It's not gonna fall off, but you know what I mean. Like, you know how your eyeshadow just kind of magically disappears? We'll see if it does that. I don't think it does because I wore this for a long time the other day and I didn't notice that. And you'll get to see if the gloss getting a little bit goopy in the middle was my lips or whether it is indeed the gloss. And I'll give you guys my like full final opinion on that afterward. All right, you guys, I wanted to show you what this looks like in natural light before we actually do a proper check-in. Not that this isn't a proper check-in, but you know, I don't have any time to wear it. I literally just finished filming 2 minutes ago. What are you doing? What are you doing? But I wanted to show you what the skin looked like in natural light because the highlight, although it's not like the most booming highlight in the world, it is really pretty and I think it does look nice on the skin. So I don't want to completely discount it. And also, I wanted to show you in natural light the color of the blush because I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I don't know how it will perform on non-fair skin tones, but if you're a pale ass bitch like me, I feel like it's a good blush. It's a good ass blush. But yeah, it's currently 5:41 p.m. So I'm gonna give this a few hours and I will check back with you guys sometime in the evening. Do you want something? Do you want dinner? Come on, let's go get dinner. Come on, let's go. All right, guys, it's been a few hours. It's 8:38 p.m. Which means about 3.5 hours. No, 3 hours, almost exactly 3 hours. So I wanted to do a check-in and show you guys how everything is looking. The lip gloss is gone, obviously. I ate and then it was gone. But update on the goopy like buildup of white gunky caca in the middle. It seems like that was just my dry lips from yesterday because it didn't happen at all today. And I waited about 2 hours or so before I ate anything. So I had a good amount of time with it actually on my lips. So the lip gloss gets a thumbs up. The highlight seems to be holding up just fine. The blush is actually still pretty vibrant. I do feel like I can't tell if it's just like the lights in here are too bright when I'm trying to look at myself in the camera, but it does seem like the shadows have faded just a touch. It's not creasing, it doesn't look bad or anything, but it lost a little bit of its depth of vibrancy. So also hard to tell in this lighting because it's like super duper bright when it's dark out. So it's like, I can't see. So yeah. Might have lost a little vibrancy, nothing crazy though. So far, everything is wearing quite well. I'm gonna check in with you guys one more time before I take this off and go to bed tonight. So I'm gonna go actually start editing this video now. I'm gonna have some tea and maybe a cookie, and I'll see you bitches in a little bit. All right, it is now 11:04. I have been wearing this for quite a number of hours now. My skin is looking a little on the dewy side. We are greasy. We are a little greasy. But that being said, the blush didn't fade and the highlight didn't fade either. The shadows, I think they faded a little, but nothing crazy. But they lost a little bit of their fire. You know what I mean? I already spoke on all the other aspects of it, so I won't go over all that again and bore the shit out of you guys. And I kind of get like this washed off and like unwind for the day because I am just like a blabbering mess right now. I just can't even form sentences. So essentially, this one wears fairly well. I think that if all of the other things that I said about it before appeal to you, then you probably won't be disappointed in this collection at all. I hope you guys found this information helpful. Let me know if you like it when I do check-ins and like check the wear times of products because I think it's like a fun way to add a little bit more value to the reviews for you guys. So leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. And that is all I have to say for now. And that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming along with me as I tested the wear time of these products. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it because that really helps me out and I would literally appreciate you until the end of time, okay? You can name my next hamster if you give this video a thumbs up, all right? All right? I might never get a hamster, but if I do, I'm not even kidding. You can name it. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, I am going to reserve my usual judgment for a moment and just give you a second to go ahead and do that, because you know what, maybe you forgot, you know? In all seriousness, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed, stuck around, because I love to have all of you guys around to talk about makeup with. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and sub. And don't forget, you can also follow me on every type of social media. I'm at Ms. Quinface on Instagram and Twitter. I am also Nicole Quinn on Vero. So if you would like to hang out on other platforms, see my much more creative than this makeup looks pretty much daily, hit me up on Instagram. And if you have any questions, a great way to get in touch with me is Twitter. I think that's all I have to talk about today. I feel like I don't know how to speak anymore, which is weird because I don't really even feel like I talked that much in this video. Maybe I did. Maybe I talked a lot and I didn't even realize it. Anyway, but I just, you see what I mean? This doesn't work anymore. That is all for today before I just lose it completely. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see your little cute butts in the next one.